You've had this strong message from people living with HIV and AIDS and their commitment in the fight and the support they are rendering your directive of fast-tracking the initiative to end AIDS as a public health threat in Uganda by 2030. As you congratulate her, Madame Salome, I wish to present to you another message, but this time in the form of a song, that Your Excellency, a speech is just a speech, but a message presented in song serves to reach deeper and further. May I now have the pleasure to present to you Favor, who's an artist, a youth, and a mobilizer. Favor.
I'm very excited to be at this special commemoration. Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, the Vice President, and the protocol as follows. Your Excellency, my name is Favor Nakaketobi Yenzika from the district of Chotera. My dad is Bishop Eldad Nyanja and my mom is Pastor Allen Nyanja. I would like to thank Madame Millie Valanda for giving me this opportunity to present to you on this special day. And thank you for the great work you've done to fight HIV/AIDS in Uganda. And let me present my song. Thank you. Museveni, oh yeah!
Thank you.
I write books And today, if I have found favor before you, kindly please sign my book. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Favor. Thanks for that message. Your Excellency and all distinguished guests today, the fight against HIV and AIDS shall require what they call all hands on deck. And a song such as Favors is one of the various platforms and fronts on which this battle shall be fought. She puts her message through song, through prose and writing, and she attends to different demographics, but most importantly, the young people who are the majority of Ugandans. Your Excellency, in a country of close to 40,000 registered HIV and AIDS cases, a directive such as yours to fast-track interventions to stop new infections by 2030 can only require so much concerted effort. And so without further ado, Your Excellency, allow me to invite the Director General of Uganda AIDS Commission, Dr. Nelson Musoba, who's coming to present to us the status report on the progress on the Presidential Fast Track Initiative to ending AIDS as a public health threat in Uganda by 2030. Dr. Musoba.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, the Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers present, Honorable Members of Parliament, the diplomatic mission, the UN Resident Coordinator leading the UN team, the Uganda AIDS Commission Chairperson and board members, religious leaders, representatives of cultural leaders, people living with HIV. Give a summary of the report on achievements on the Presidential Fast Track Initiative. But before I do that, allow me, with your permission, to recognize a few partners, especially those we work with very closely. From the UN team, led by the UN Resident Coordinator, Mr. Leonard Zulu, is over there. Please stand up for recognition. And Your Excellency, the UN Resident Coordinator had prepared a speech, but because of time, I request that he hands over the speech to your team. You will be able to look through it later, Mr. Leonard, so you can just pass that to the security team. They will be able to hand it to His Excellency. Your Excellency, in his team we have UNAIDS, we have the country director here, we have UNFPA, we have UNDP, we have UN Women, amongst others. We have the US government as well, represented, led by the PEPFAR coordinator. We have a team from the US government. I know the coordinator is here. Yes, Madam Mary Bogman. Your Excellency, from the National Drug Authority, we have the chairman, who is also chairman for the country coordinating mechanism for the Global Fund. Dr. Medard Vitecherezo, please wave to the President. From the Hospice Africa Uganda, we have the chairperson, Ms. Joy Mirembe, also in the audience. Please wave to the President. And last but not least, Chair, we have the chairperson and members of Uganda AIDS Commission, the Canon Dr. Ruth Senyonyi, whom this is the team you've recently given us, accompanied by the members. We also have management and staff of Uganda AIDS Commission. So, Your Excellency, having done that, my name is Dr. Nelson Musoba. I'm the Director General of Uganda AIDS Commission. Your Excellency, I will begin by thanking you for coming to officiate at this event in your busy schedule and granting us opportunity to share a sample of the achievements that we've made over the last 12 months. Secondly, Your Excellency, I would like to acknowledge your commitment and consistent stewardship to the fight against HIV/AIDS ever since you took leadership. And last but not least, Your Excellency, I thank you on behalf of all Ugandans for the work you're doing now on driving that the country towards industrialization, improving household incomes. All of this ultimately impact public health and reduction in new HIV infections. Your Excellency, the report, the summary of the report I'm going to give, there are copies that have been shared. The detail is in there. And it's updates since over the last 12 months. The data presented in here, and I'm saying this because I know that the Honorable Minister of Health is in the audience. So this data is as of December 2023. And it is data that has been verified and validated jointly with UNAIDS, Ministry of Health, and ourselves. So if you asked the Honorable Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, she'll probably give you a more recent report which may have slightly different figures. But we present this because we know that as you interact with other leaders in the region, this is data that you can compare with others because it has been validated by our partners and it is comparable. In terms of setting the agenda for the response, Your Excellency, our Lord the Bishop gave a very good background, so I wouldn't want to repeat. But a lot of our international frameworks, the national agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals, the Africa Agenda 2063, the East African Vision 2050, and the Uganda Vision 2040, as well as the fourth National Development Plan and the National Strategic Plan, all benchmark and prioritize HIV and AIDS. And this have all been agreed at different fora. In terms of the UNAIDS 90-90-90, we were able to achieve these targets by 2020. These were revised to 95-95-95. And Salome, the person representing people living with HIV, did a good job in explaining what 95-95-95 means. And these are targets that we are supposed to achieve by 2025, which is just 30 days away from now. And next year we shall be able to, but I'm going to share updates as of December 2023. Briefly on the global picture, Your Excellency, based on the Global AIDS Report 2024, UNAIDS estimates that there are 39.9 million people living with HIV globally. And that in 2023 alone, we got 1.3 million people getting infected. This included 120,000 children. So that's the global picture. And I give that because I'm about to talk about the national picture so that we are able to compare. Your Excellency, in terms of the national picture, first of all, when you looked at how we were progressing after agreeing on the Sustainable Development Goals, in 2017 you launched the Presidential Fast Track Initiative for ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. We now have just 6 years to hit that milestone in terms of years. Quickly, the 5 pillars under your directive included the following. 1, you directed us to go and engage men in HIV prevention and close the tap on new HIV infections, especially among women and young people. you further instructed us to accelerate test and treat to achieve, back then was 90, 90, 90, but now to achieve 95, 95, 95 HIV treatment targets. You also instructed us to consolidate the achievements under the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of the HIV programs. Furthermore, you said we should ensure financial sustainability and also make sure that our institutions that govern and support the prevention of HIV and AIDS are effective. So, Your Excellency, what have been the achievements down the line? And over the last 3 years, so this is the 6th report since we started, and we've been reporting to you. But overall, there has been a reduction in new HIV infections by 45%, from 68,000 infections annually in 2017, and by December 2023, we had 38,000 new HIV infections. It means within a period of 12 months, that's the number of people who became infected. Your Excellency, to highlight, 15,000 of these were young people between the age of 18 to 24. And we have 400 children between ages 0 to 14. So while we have the technology to stop babies getting HIV, we still have quite a number that is still getting HIV. So I've picked a few examples, Your Excellency, to illustrate the work, the tremendous that has been going on under your leadership. Under Pillar 1 of engaging men, in the year under review, Uganda was able to achieve 92, 90, 94. 92, 90, 94. Remember, the target is 95, 95, 95 by 2025. Your Excellency, last year, we reported you the achievement was 90, 94, 94. So there is a deterioration in the first 90, that is testing. There is an improvement in the second 90 of getting HIV positives on treatment. And then there is no change in the third 90, making sure that people swallow their medicines and are able to suppress the virus. Your Excellency, a total of approximately 9 million individuals were tested for HIV in the year under review, which was an increase from 6.8 million the previous year. And out of those tested, 144,000 were diagnosed with HIV, and 95% of those were enrolled on treatment. Amongst adolescent girls and young women, the different programs were able to reach more than 500,000 adolescent girls and young children, and I'm about to go through some of them. We've had distribution of HIV prevention messages, Your Excellency. We have used the Parish Development Model Platform by giving messages to the Secretariat, and as they go out, they make sure that the parish committees incorporate this. We've targeted persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups, and we think that people living with HIV across the country, as they have just been presenting to you, can tap into this program of PDM, because we know that when you improve welfare and cushion households against poverty, you are ultimately preventing new HIV infections. Your Excellency, as Uganda AIDS Commission, we've also taken note of the socio-economic strengthening initiatives, including vocational training, village saving schemes, and that, you know, we know that, again, are cushioning the population against HIV and AIDS. The presidential initiative on skilling for young people, when we looked at the data from the team that's doing, the report we got is that they have reached 13,200 young people in 22 skilling hubs in the country, and each hub trains an average of 600 youth every year. And again, I highlight this because HIV cannot just be managed as a public health condition alone. It is poverty eradication initiatives like this that will help us achieve the goal. Your Excellency, on your instruction, when we were in Rukunjiri, you told us, go and kukuba enduru, which is making an alarm about HIV and AIDS. We've developed an HIV prevention and control message handbook for community leaders, and all RDCs, RCCs, their deputies and assistants have been handed this. They are able to use it during the radio talk shows and that they have on various media platforms. These messages will also be distributed to schools, universities, religious institutions, and cultural institutions. Our intention is to translate this in the different languages of Uganda and continue to disseminate them to the grassroots. Your Excellency, on the goal of accelerating test and treat, I have just gone through where we are in terms of the 95, 95, 95. So I'm not going to repeat that one. On the third instruction of consolidating mother-to-child transmission, again, the one area, Your Excellency, to highlight and request for your input is the babies, the 4,700 babies that contracted HIV from their mothers in the previous year. Although this is a reduction from 5,900 in the previous year, it still shouldn't happen. We think that most of this happened because of stigma and discrimination at household and community level, but this can be reduced to zero as it's being observed in some health facilities. So, Your Excellency, here the issue is around the different leaders messaging about, the technologies and innovations available in the health facility and urging communities to use the services as much as possible. Your Excellency, the fourth directive of financial sustainability, I would like to especially thank you on this because when we look at the total budget mobilized for the national HIV response, including the budget from donors, for the previous year was approximately 2.6 trillion. This is close to the budget for the health sector. The direct contribution from government, Your Excellency, was 269 billion, which is about 13%, which largely went to procurement of medicines and test kits. However, this figure does not take into account staff, because we have government of Uganda paid staff who are providing HIV services. These services are provided within the government of Uganda infrastructure as well as the utilities. So probably if we factor that in, the contribution would go higher than 13%. Although our target had been that by 2025, government would contribute 40% of the total budget. But Your Excellency, there is a financing innovation that you sanctioned that I would like to report back. And we call this the HIV mainstreaming agenda. Working with the Ministry of Finance, all government ministries, departments, and agencies are directed to allocate 0.1% of their budgets after they have removed the wage and subvention towards HIV and AIDS prevention activities. Your Excellency, when we looked at the last report, we saw that a total of 61 billion was mobilized. This is more than $10 million. And we have worked with UNAIDS to generate these reports, and globally they are following this with interest. They think this is another initiative pioneered here that may be taken on globally. The main constraint, sir, is that only 17% of all the votes complied with the instructions. So probably if everyone worked according to the instructions that we gave them, then the figure would be much higher than 61%. It is really reorganizing internal budgets and that way we can offset some of these requirements. On ensuring institutional effectiveness, Your Excellency, most of our government ministries, departments, and agencies have HIV prevention and control units, up to 98%. It's slightly lower in the local governments at 89%, and it's because of the recently created local governments, including cities, that we are still orienting so that they can also have these committees to sensitize staff. Your Excellency, one of the last issues that I would like to report to you on is the issue, because we've looked at and you've previously engaged us on ensuring that there is continuity and lasting impact in terms of the investments and gains that have been made. Your Excellency, we know that in the 90s, when HIV/AIDS initiatives were being set up, they were largely, because of the emergency nature, they were parallel systems and they worked outside government. And most of these were coming from donors. So the current discussion going on is that let these efforts be mainstreamed and let the services be delivered within the government systems. We are working on a framework under the leadership of the Honorable Minister for Presidency. And Your Excellency, at one of the prayers is that at an opportune time, she will come and present a position paper to Cabinet so that you can guide, make your high-level input, approve this roadmap, and it will largely, to a very large extent, cut down costs of delivery, but also ensure that government is in the lead in terms of delivery. Let me mention a few challenges, sir, as I end my comments. Despite the above achievements that I've mentioned, Your Excellency, we still have some subgroups that remain vulnerable to HIV, and that's why the burden is still high. Currently, we estimate about 1.4 million people living with HIV. About 1.3 million of these are on ARVs. Your Excellency, we've estimated that it costs about 700,000 Uganda shillings per year to maintain a patient on ARVs, including monitoring and testing. And I've spoken about the number of new infections, especially amongst young people. One of the reasons, sir, we see this is complacency amongst young people, but also partly because they did not witness the aggressive epidemic of the 1980s and 90s, which if you saw it, then you would go back and think twice before you can engage into risk behavior. On the behalf of on the Uganda AIDS Commission budget, Your Excellency, I thank you, because over the last 5 years, our budget has increased by threefold. And the most recent, Minister of Finance made a provision for us to fill the 19 vacant positions that have been empty. We are very grateful for that. But we, like the Oliver Twist, sir, we are still asking for more, because there are interventions around communication, HIV prevention and advocacy that we have been working with partners like religious leaders and cultural leaders that would like to inject more energy in. So we've made some proposals to Parliament and to the Minister of Finance, and an opportune moment, sir, we can share these specifics with you again so that you guide us going forward. So what do we propose going forward? So we request you to continue to lead the campaign of reducing new HIV infections, especially amongst young children. We propose that you direct all leaders, including political leaders, cultural leaders, religious leaders, and business leaders, to include HIV prevention and other health messages in their programs whenever they have an opportunity to address the public. Your Excellency, sir, we also request you to engage our partners to avoid a hasty withdrawal, because after decades of these huge investments and achievements that we have, it would be disastrous for us and for them, I think, to just move out. So we request that you, at a very high level, although the minister with myself, we are engaging at a technical level, that you engage the partners and urge them to have a systematic retreat, maybe based on the framework that we shall present to you to endorse. In the medium and long term, sir, we would like you to continue leading the efforts to build capacity for local manufacturing of pharmaceuticals, the example of quality chemicals, the microheme scientifics, the East African medical vitals, and others. But beyond that, Your Excellency, as current chair of the non-aligned movement, we would like you to lead the effort to harmonize the regional manufacturing industry so that countries manufacture what is of competitive advantage, and if one is manufacturing ARVs, maybe the other can manufacture something else. Because also we know that this will create wider regional markets and also create jobs for our young people. So we also request, we've had investments in research, local research and development for a vaccine and cure, and so we request that these investments increase. In conclusion, the national multi-sectoral HIV response has made tremendous achievements in terms of reducing new HIV infections and AIDS-related deaths. And your leadership has been at the center of this, and we ask for this continued leadership. And we are very confident that in your current drive, especially of poverty, including emphasis on universal primary and secondary education, we shall improve household incomes and positively impact public health outcomes, ultimately leading to Uganda ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. I say this for God and my country, and I thank you, sir, for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nelson Musoba. Aya abantu baife oyo ni Dr. Musoba Nelson, senkulu w'ekitongole ekya Uganda AIDS Commission, abadde abuulira mukama waffe President w'eggwanga omulimu omulungi bonga ekitongole tendo bonga ekitongole gwe bakoze gwe beeyongera okukola okulaba nti balwanyisa ekirwadde ekyamukenenya. President yatugamba n'abawa okusoomoozebwa nti bwe mugenda okutuuka omwaka 2030 taya kulaba nti waliwo omuntu n'obwabeera omu akwatibwa akawuka ka mukenenya mu ggwanga lyaffe Uganda. Kaakati oyo ssenkulu w'ekitongole abadde amunnyonnyola enkizo ki ze bataddeko ng'ekitongole kya gavumenti okulaba nti guno omulimu gw'abakwasibwa President bagutuusa buli ndaala. Agenze mu maaso n'atwayanjulira abantu be bakola nabo, development partners in your respective capacities. He singled out a few. I was told he didn't mention World Health Organization. I am adding World Health Organization to the fold. Dr. Njuguna, I see you, and please wave to the people. He also did not mention our friends from the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. You may as well wish to wave to the people as well. Excellencies, honorable ministers and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all our good people in this area, as we take a breather, I wish to introduce to you Kinaitakali Primary School. Abana bafa abalungi batereko a song for the entertainment and education on this fight we are on to fight against HIV and AIDS. Kinaitakali Primary School.
is a poem to show you that as young people, the message of HIV and AIDS is not only with adults, but deep into the psyche of young people who are the majority in our country. And as Chankuri Primary School, please, let's get on. We have a poem. His Excellency the President is waiting. that wonderful poem where you have sent out two fundamental messages. The first message is to thank His Excellency the President for his concerted efforts in the fight against HIV and AIDS, and the second is a curse upon HIV. Ekitontome kibadde kikolera akabuka ka Mukenenya naye ate ekitontome ne kyebaza nnyo ekyensusu President waffe w'eggwanga n'ebya akaleeta akasaawa eno mukulu w'eggwanga President asiimye abaana baffe abakyankole CDC akubeebaza ku lw'ekitontome ekirungi kye batuwadde. Your Excellency, that is the foundation of the future society of Uganda, who are saying they embrace your strategic leadership in handling HIV and AIDS, not a public health issue by 2030. Thank you very much. Bana tubakubire mu ngalo abaana baife abo baana baffe ekisiriimu kibakwatako ennyo. Ekitontome kyabwe kibadde kirina obubaka obw'amaanyi okulaga nti nabo ng'abaana abato bamusaayi muto. Luno olutalo lwe tulimu olw'okulwanyisa Mukenenya balwejumbidde ate balwejumbidde bulindaala. Kaakati olwo ng'omukulu President ali mu kwekobaana n'abaana baffe bano, badde nsaba minisita waffe omulungi akwasaganya ensonga z'obwa President, in that case the Minister for the Presidency, Honorable Miri Babalanda, to take stage and not only just make her remarks, but also use the opportunity to recognize colleague ministers and other dignitaries at that level that are present with us. Honorable Babalanda.
Mire, Honorable Mary Babaranda. Those are those who say no more message etuse. Ngatona yogera honorable ninayo ekirango kitono kina y'abaana babiri beturonze badde nsaba nti bw'oba wase n'omwana wo naye nga tomulaba otuukire wano then ojje tukuwe omwana wo.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, National Chairman of the mighty party NRM, our Chief Patriot, our champion in the fight against HIV and AIDS, our hero in the fight of COVID-19, our freedom fighter, champion of democracy, doctor of international philosophy, and fountain of honor on the African continent, Papa Dr. Museveni. You are most welcome to VND. Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda and woman Member of Parliament, Katakwi District, retired Major Jessica Aluko Rose Pell, you're most welcome, Mama. The Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the East African Community Affairs and Second National Vice Chairperson of the mighty NRM Party and woman Member of Parliament, Kamali District, Right Honorable Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, you are most welcome, Mama. The Third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without Portfolio and woman Member of Parliament, Mayuge District, Right Honorable Lukia Isanga Nakadama, Mama Tsangaire. The Honorable Minister for Health, Honorable Jane Ruth Acheng, you are most welcome. Honorable Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, General Mbadi Mbasu Wilson, you are most welcome. Honorable members of Parliament present, the heads of diplomatic missions present, the AIDS development patterns, the PEPFAR coordinator, Mary Bogan, can you please stand and wave to His Excellency the President? Bogan, you are most welcome. The UN resident coordinator, the UNFPA country representative, the UNAIDS country representative, World Health Organization country representative, UN Women, JICA, and UNDP, you are all welcome. The RDCs, led by the Dean of RDCs, RCCs, Deputy RDCs, and Assistant RDCs, you are most welcome. All local leaders, not forgetting the LC5 chairpersons, representatives of religious and cultural leaders, representatives of people living with HIV, all other leaders in your respective capacities, ladies and gentlemen. Omukama mulungi. Ekisera kyona kyona. Your Excellency, before I present my remarks to your guests, and with your permission, allow me to invite the LC5 chairperson of Biende and the woman member of parliament Biende to come and greet you, sir. Chairman Biende, idolamse kubageni ba President Museveni. Awalala n'omubaka omukyalo wa Biende district, idolamse kubageni ba President Museveni.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Second Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister for Presidency, the Minister for Health, all members of Parliament here present, the Uganda AIDS Commission, Abo Bwacha Bazinga, and all invited guests. Ninze Kanakumaiko, the district chairperson. A lot of messages, Your Excellency, have been put about HIV/AIDS. I have only 2 statements to make about it. One, you have visited Bukungu. This is the second time you come to Bukungu Primary School. Bukungu is the largest landing site on Lake Choga. Buyende shares Lake Choga with Kayunga, Amaratal, Kabiramaido, Serere, Palisat Gogonyo, and Kaliro. We happen to have 30 landing sites. Evidence has shown that the landing sites are associated with a high level of infection and prevalence of HIV/AIDS. My prayer is simple. HIV control, response, and interventions are institutional based. All testing is done in health facilities. We have 6 sub-counties that touch Lake Choga but do not have any health facility. We are happy that in our council, when your wise minister sent us money under the youth gift program, we have already built a health center 3 at Bukungu so that we prepare for the various ferries. People will be moving on the ferries and pay attention to the landing site. It is my prayer through you, Your Excellency, and the relevant authorities to help us and at least attain a single health facility where most of these institutional interventions shall be carried out. Number 2, Your Excellency, the President, I am happy to give you this message. As a leading politician in this country, I also champion politics in this district. Permit me give you this message. 1, Buyende district is the one that voted NRM best in Eastern region. The whole of Soga region had challenges, but for us, we were able to make sure you win, and we are committed to this, that if we put a few things right, we shall continue winning in NRM vote. Number 2, Your Excellency, Buyende district is proud of the PDM program. We have performed the third best twice. The first release, and even this financial year, we are the third best, and we are the regional champions of PDM. The rest are supposed to learn from us. That one makes me happy. Mr. President, there is an important agenda. The other time, I was invited as the only chairperson to join in Entebbe when we had a forum on the nuclear business interventions. An engagement between Uganda, including a memorandum of understanding, was signed between Argentina and Soroti University to have the first nuclear engineering faculty. For 7 years, the Ministry of Energy and other sister agencies have been coming to Buyende, Nakasongola, Lamo, and Kiruhura to have the nuclear energy facilities. This is in conformity with your direction of intention to diversify the energy mix in Uganda to meet the 50,000 megawatts that you desire and visioned could be what would drive us to 2040. The first facility is going to be built in Buyende at a hill near River Nile called the Kasato. I take the privilege, Your Excellency, to say that the hill you are seeing in the other direction is the Kasato nuclear site that by 2032 will produce 80,400 megawatts. A lot has been done. 2 weeks ago, the ministry, together with the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, launched the resettlement action plan that has kicked to look at the various agenda to harmonize. The prayer among our community is that we want further engagement, and it should be championed by the man with that vision. The Bataka want to see, they want to benchmark what happened in Hoima oil regions, what happened at Isimba, what happened at Vijagali. It is our prayer that we handle the communities, because about 10 villages are going to be affected. It is my prayer, my President, that we do this best, because some of us who are talking about it are being misunderstood, because we can interpret the nuclear policy, we can interpret the regulations, we have the knowledge about the Land Acquisition and Resettlement Act. We are being mistaken. We seek for your intervention and direction in this subject matter. Your Excellency the President, some time back, when this district requested for a single ferry, you have given us 2 mini ships, a project of 52 billions. The docking points have remained a challenge. Today, we had anticipated that you would be commissioning the 2 big ferries that will save us about 300 kilometers of moving from here via Jinja, Mbale, Soroti to Kabiramaido would take 2 meters. To Maida and Soroti, and also save us the longer journey via Kampala, Karuma, and the other side. It is our prayer that while you identified under your vision of working with East African community, a firm from Tanzania called Songora has made wonderful ferries. But Tehran, which is handling the docking point, has delayed us. We have waited for these pledges. You have fulfilled them. We want it to operate. I want to thank you for the various pledges you had made in Buyende. You gave us the district. When you landed here, you added us 8 lower local governments. You gave us the electricity. The ferries have come. Another challenge is the ice plant. The ice plant was a 1.6 billion project. It was completed. 6 years ago, the Honorable Nankawira wanted to commission it. The challenge we had, it has never produced ice, because even with the presence of electricity, nobody has come to connect the ice plant to electricity. It has remained a white elephant. It is a waste of the good monies that this country would have utilized the best way. It is my prayer that you think about it so that we maximize benefit of the various interventions your wisdom has provided to us. I must not make it my day, for I have the prayer that one time we shall once again meet you. But maybe perhaps I am a Mukenye by tribe. In 27, when I led a delegation of the Badiope who were in the Kamuli district to State House, we were demanding for this district. When I told you Buyende is made up of mixed tribes, I told you of the Banyara who have taken this place, the Ikusimoola, the Ibabaza, the Banyala, and the Baluli. I told you about the Wakenye. I told you about the Aitesots, the Langis who crossed during the 1987 insurgents. You asked me, what are Wakenye? You told me to speak Rukenya, and you doubted whether it was not Lugwero or Lulamoji. You asked me whether there is a dance and a drama about it. You had thought Buyende has only Basoga. We have Basoga of various origins. So now, Mr. President, what happened in 1987 is that when the insurgents was voted across, the safe zone was Buyende. A third of Buyende district are called Abalumuse or Abairuchi, meaning displaced persons who ran from the other side to take refuge here. What this government did, PRDP and NUSAF, was given to the people across, and the survivors, this were benefited in nothing. Up to today, Your Excellency, the Wakenya people are disturbing these politicians. They are coming back to us to say, what is the deal for us? In the tent where you are, you have a delegation of leadership over Kenya in the whole country. They are there standing, waving to you. It is their prayer that they meet you and you harmonize. For them, they are committed to vote. I must conclude as guided. I rest my case. Thank you, Your Excellency, the President.
Your Excellency, Baba Nzoida kuikiriza in the interest of the local leadership around Nkozeso Olusoga. Nenda okusima okuidako, nenda okwebaza Vice President, mukaida wa ife Mama Right Honorable Kadaga, atenga niwe achikira mu East Africa, the third Deputy Prime Minister, ministers present, the honorable members of Parliament, the other DCs, and then the designated dignitaries, religious present. Baba nze nenda ko bebigambo bitono, nenda kwebaza nti webala okuida ebiyende. Wenawo ndakusaba nti webala okuba champion, okukulembera okulwanisa akawuka ka siriimu. I'm one of the people abaire ni CDO mu district ngebaire indigenous. Twafuna vote okuva mu civil society fund, and we got 300 million in my organization. We worked with existing health structures. We have been circumcising. We tested people and referred. Wanonendo kwebaza the partners abaidye celebrating wano olunaku lw'okwidukira banaife akawuka ka siriimu. Thank you for joining hands with the Buyende district. Nendo okusaba abantu ababulido nti twongere okwekuuma kubanga siriimu aliyo. Your Excellency, allow me to report to you that you assigned me a task prior to your coming for sensitizing the fisher folks about fish farming. My report is ready and the people are ready to buy the idea.
ayenga nenda okusembyayo baba ebudyope ekyabavubi kikali kutereera nenda kusaba nti bwaidye oikirize through Minister for Presidency omitinge ku abavubi bonna abosoboire okulongoosa ensonga ey'abavubi kuba niwe tutola ekyokulya. Then lastly, allow me take this singular honor to invite the honorable members of Parliament for Budiope West and Budiope East, Honorable Choto and Honorable Magogo. You come along with the members of Parliament, Chairperson Busoga Parliamentary Caucus. Okay, I've been advised that I recognize you. Allow me take this singular honor to recognize the presence of the area MOP, Budiope constituency, Honorable Choto Ibrahim Muruli. You stand up and wave to the President. Honorable Magogo Hashimu, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Budiope East constituency. Honorable Muuma Militon Kalulu from Iganga district. Honorable Ajidi Isabirie from Bunya South and is the chairperson in Busoga Parliamentary Caucus. Honorable Chisa Stephanie from Luka South. Your Excellency has also embraced this function. Honorable Katenya Isaac from Bulambuli is also present. Honorable Dr. Didi Boka from Obong County. Honorable Abeja Susan from Otuke constituency. We have the honorables. Once the honorable remains the honorable. So, Your Excellency, allow me to recognize their presence. We have Honorable Sulaiman Chirunda, the former Member of Parliament for Budiope constituency East. We have Honorable Msoke Robert, is also with us. We have Honorable Ruwawa Paul, who was one of the first members of Parliament for Biende district. We have Honorable Bahati from Luuka, and we have Honorable Balonde David, Chairman Land Board Kampala. Allow me end here in the interest of time. Your Excellency, we are very happy. Thank you for coming. Thank you again. Even the Honorable Mubito, but he was assigned to be the RDC.
I am privileged to come back on the direction of His Excellency the President. Ndikutako kutwala omukisa guno, Mr. President, yokusangazia mukyalo ekyebuyende kubanga onkobere nti nkusugiryeko mu Lukenye tusangaire ino iswe tukutaka ino ifo abakenye twerira binage na bijjo nitubokusa era tukutaka tukuwa obululu bungi kuba abandi kwise bagudiryo kuteso twena twayizire wano nitutyama wano wadde batwaire kwente gya isu amatakali ga isu nibayita bana isu iswe tuli happy era taka tukolagane na iwe era kyova national team etambwira okuzo mu Uganda yona neiza wano era n'abantu mwena mwiziro ku mukolo guno ntako kubasangazya nti mwebalo kwiza ifo abakenye nifo abamu ku bitundu ebiryo mu Uganda era according to national census buyende ni yesinga bakenye obungi mu Uganda yona era bwebuiza kwetwa tumulano kyabazinga twasalawo twena tuyikirye tubeno kabakaga isu. Your Excellency, tusangaire ino tuiza kusigala nga tikutaka era tuli kusabanga bwa baironkobere olundingiza kuleta abakenye bakubinireku bakwembereku otegeria abakenye byetukolanga bwa bokitakire, and we are proud kubanga tuwaire district tubamu n'abanyala tubamu n'abaluli n'abasoga batukumire nitubana bateso muno n'abalanga bayirukire kudi webale nnyo your experience. Ntaka kutwala n'omukisa guno, I want to seek your indulgence, the President, to introduce my colleagues, the chairpersons LC5 here present. Chairman Kamuli, okubireko mukulu jambo na buli bakansala ba district mwena mukubireku o president akajambo. President, we are happy. We hosted you here 3 months ago. We hosted Dutch Bishop here. 2 months ago, we hosted Yomutane Ochabazingo Abusogana Bawano. Webale ino President.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Baba Zena ndi musoga ngana nkwandulire ku abageni abakukunavu abali awoti yaime kusaidiyo ere right Otiaime ni Sister of Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, retired Major Jessica Alupo Rose Pell. Ate kusaidia eno wati amani mwanoko, First Deputy Prime Minister, era Minister w'ensonga eza East Africa, ate era Second National Vice Chairperson ow'ekibiina kyaife ekya NRM, ate omubaka omukyalo wa Kamuli District, Mama Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga. Ate kusaidia eno otiaime ni muwalawo oba mwanoko, Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister, era Minister without portfolio, ate era omubaka omukyalo wa Mayuge District, Right Honorable Lukia Isanga Nakadama. Awoni waliwo Minister w'ensonga ez'ebyobulamu Oweekitiibwa Jane Ruth Acheng. Ate waba oni mutabani wo Minister of State Trade General Mbadimbasu Wilson. Webale ino Oweekitiibwa President. I greet you and welcome you all to Buyende District and to this year's celebrations to mark the World AIDS Day. We are here at Bukungu Primary School in Buyende District, and the people and leaders of Buyende are excited to see you, Your Excellency the President. Every year at this time, we come together to reflect on this devastating scourge whose terrible impact has continued to overturn progress of humanity for now close to 40 years. Your Excellency, with your direct support and interventions, Uganda has nonetheless made significant progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS in the late 1980s and early 1990s. HIV prevalence was high at 18% in the general population. It is now at 5.1%. There are approximately 1.4 million people living with HIV, and over 1.2 million of these are on treatment. In 2023 alone, 38,000 new HIV infections were registered and 20,000 AIDS-related deaths were recorded. Of the new HIV infections, a high proportion are adolescent girls and younger women. I would like to applaud the collaboration between Uganda AIDS Commission, Ministry of Health, and UNAIDS that enabled us to generate this subnational data. It is useful in helping us prioritize HIV prevention interventions and behavior change campaigns. Your Excellency, sir, the global HIV and AIDS estimates show that Uganda is on track to achieve our targets, even though the burden remains big. I take this opportunity to appreciate you, Your Excellency, for the exemplary leadership and unwavering support you have offered to the national HIV and AIDS response over the years. You have shown keen interest and deep knowledge in all the facets of HIV and AIDS response, driven by your desire to have a healthy population that ultimately drives industrialization. Your Excellency, the first person with AIDS in Uganda was discovered at Kasensero landing site in Rakai district in the 1980s. It soon became the epicenter of HIV infection and AIDS-related deaths, alongside other thriving urban centers at that time. For some years, many districts in Uganda, such as those in Karamoja region, did not register any cases of HIV infection. However, to date, every district in Uganda has people living with HIV. Your Excellency, in 2017, after the announcement of the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations, you launched the Presidential Fast Track Initiative to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. This initiative has 5 pillars. Pillar number 1, to engage men in HIV prevention and close the tap on new infections, particularly among adolescent girls and young women. Your Excellency, this region was reported with high numbers of early marriages, defilements, careless parenting, and school dropouts, which were fueling HIV infections. As leaders, we are addressing this problem through emphasis on welfare creation programs. Pillar number 2, to accelerate implementation of test and treat program and attainment of the 90 to 90 targets, particularly among men and young people. That is 90% of all people who are HIV positive identified through HIV testing. 90% of all who tested positive are enrolled on treatment, and 90% of all who are on treatment achieve viral suppression. This has since been updated to a new target of 95, 95, 95. Pillar number 3, to consolidate progress on elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Pillar number 4, to ensure financial sustainability for the HIV and AIDS response. And pillar number 5, to ensure institutional effectiveness for a well-coordinated multi-sectoral response. Your Excellency, sir, in 2017, Uganda pledged to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. This was to be achieved through implementation of behavior change interventions and dissemination of messages for HIV prevention. This was crucial to achieve significant and sustainable declines in new HIV infections, and especially during the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic that worsened domestic violence and transactional sex, 2 key factors in the spread of HIV. Your Excellency, I would like to recognize the efforts of the government of Uganda in addressing poverty through the parish development model, EMYOGA, and other welfare creation interventions. Sir, being financially empowered not only increases household incomes, but it also helps to reduce the vulnerabilities, especially of adolescent girls and young women in HIV infection. Your Excellency, you have always emphasized that health is wealthy. I therefore urge Ugandans to test for HIV and know their status. If you test positive, treatment for HIV is available in all government facilities, and when taken as advised, it is beneficial in suppressing the HIV virus. HIV prevention Communication is also beneficial in creating awareness and changing individual and social behavior. To this end, the resident district and city commissioners have been empowered to implement your directive on HIV messaging using the government airtime on radios. Your Excellency, while it is true that much of the funding we receive for the national HIV response is from donors, we recognize the government of Uganda for increasing allocations to the HIV national response. The Ministry of Finance has been increasing its annual allocations, especially for medicines and test kits. We also recognize government-directed, Your Excellency, we also recognize that government-directed or accounting officers to allocate 0.1% of annual operational budgets towards mainstreaming HIV interventions in their respective sectors. This has helped to ensure funding for HIV prevention activities, especially those that seek your guidance and adoption. Your Excellency, sir, as I conclude, I would like to thank the Uganda AIDS Commission for coordinating the national HIV response and getting us to where we are today. I also thank the AIDS development partners for their support to the government of Uganda. I thank the networks of people living with HIV, the civil society and private sector, and the cultural and religious leaders for supporting government efforts in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Your Excellency, there are several political and socio-economic issues affecting this area which I would have loved to talk about on behalf of the people, but we will highlight them during your forthcoming PDM tour in Usoga region. Your Excellency, before I invite the Right Honorable Speaker, before I invite the Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga to speak to us, allow me to invite one of your Muzukulu who is having a message to your guests, and with your permission, sir. Prince Ronnie.
Kampulira mizira gya mama babalonda mire. Kampulira mizira gya jjajja mwami. Jjajja mwami ndi musanyufu nnyo okulabako era jjajja nsaba osima akayimba kano. Jjajja nakayimba nkajja ku mutima gwange sole neyanziza neyanzege dijja sulayo. sobola bannayuganda nzekisaba ziruka maaso tumala budde bayana tukanyekola abalina amataka bannange kunyweze kumbi ebyobulimi n'ebyobuluzi tuyongeremu amaanyi kyagala bangane pulezidenti ataddemu amaanyi ebyobulimi n'ebyobuluzi ebyo biri mu sente emwanyi manyi yepulogulamu eriwate kati iri nemwanyi mu uganda eraba amaanyi
development partners waliwo ng'ogenda okuyita kubanga mubagenda
Sasanya Gwanda, Jenguzi Jaito to Anigate to Uganda. Isamo Muhima Kurote, Notamani Jaja, Komotua Wasamasika, Kivali Mogawila, Osinike no Moratua, Wasi Jaja, Yomatumo Kukona to La Kora, Apola Moya, Inga Neripa, Nikamu Makanya Kwe, Tukuni Pila Wamajaja,
Kale tweyanziza Prince Juko webale ino webalire irala.
This and ready for chicken one
Your Excellency, the Bazukulu of Buyende are more humbled and ready for overflow the ballot boxes with your votes come 2026. Your Excellency, ngana nsima abantu ab'Ebuyende n'ebudyopa okutwaliza awalala okwida mu bungi buti mwebala okwida okwaniriza President Museveni. Mwebala okwenda President Museveni. NRM oye! NRM juu! Abantu bano bagumira omusana olw'omukwano gwe balina niwe ow'ekitiibwa President. Ngana nsime muwalawo Lieutenant Colonel Masi olw'okubanga ali kujanga atebenkeza enanda n'emirimu emirungi gyali tukolamu. Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti Gana nsiime ba RDCs, ba Deputy RDCs, ba Assistant RDCs abayidye ku mukolo guno mu bungi bali over 70 nga bakulembeirwa ddiini waibwe mbabazi yemereza ttiimu yo baweviigireko Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti. Ate neyo ttiimu ya ba RDCs nga bwe bakola emirimu gyo Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti. Ate ni batabani bo mu mobilization nga Basewava Joseph n'abandi Kamala. Baba ebiseera bigiire nga nandete mwanoko Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister era Minister West African Community Affairs era omubaka omukyalo wa Kamuli District ate era Second National Vice Chairperson wa NRM Party Mama Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga.
Bana kodeyo mwe balina kwida mwe balina mirimu gye mulikola. Your Excellency President waife tusangere okubona mu kyalo kyaife ekyebukungu katulebaze Uganda Aid Commission ni Ministry of Presidency okuikiriza okuleeta omukolo wano mu kyalo kyaife. Your Excellency ekyalo kino kyalondebwa bulungi kubanga the characteristics of this community are majorly two: fishing community but also part of the cattle corridor. Emise gyaibwe gyakutambula especially fishing community ina preference ya mbani no musonga ya HIV infection. So baba bali kugireeta ano abantu basobola okufuna message hiyo. Your Excellency Vice President Mutesi owebugweri tusangere okubona we bali kwida mu kyalo kyaife kino. Deputy Prime Minister ba Minister abakulembeze mwena protocol bajogereira tuida kugira mu tusangere obona. Your Excellency ka koisuseyo olugendo lwabairemu ng'oli kubiriza abantu ba Africa okuzibuka amaiso twegaite tube kitole tusobole okwanganga ebizibu ebiri mu igwanga. Otisetya wakimanye ndabaindi kutambula obwire nasoma ku Twitter nti mwami President wa America yakobye nti imwe ba BRICS bwe munagezaako okulekerawo okozesa dola mwida kumbona alikogera kubanga wamaani akutisa obutono. Baba ife nga Uganda tusobola kirwana twenka ayo message yo eya federation ndoza abana banagitegeera tulikwetaaga okubagalala tusobole okuresponinga ku bintu ebyo. Your Excellency kanebaze abakulembeze mu lweje bairi bakola muno esooka dagida kuba justice atudonka esooka negemagana ku nsonga ya nuclear. Your Excellency abataka we tried Dr. Resita abataka bankuba ati tulikwenda ido twinonole ebigemagana ni nuclear tubitegera bulungi. So naida anakoba aba Ministry of Energy tuje video petogere n'abataka twaide kasatao twasiba luna kulamba but they talked about their fears, their expectations. So, Your Excellency, program eno okujiraga yarangibwa ira aye okutuka kuitaka eruire ekiri mu kyalo ekyo ebyalo 10 kirala tunaja tituje tulime tutalima. Should we invest, should we not invest? So ndi kusaba nti okuba Ministry of Energy bangu kwe balikola abantu amane yebajja kibajja okukola kibajja okufuna but programming emyaka 7 kibalikola ne kinayagana mu kyalo. Excellency So ndikwenda kusaba ensonga eyo obakobe. Ekyokubiri ekigamba nuclear nababuuza nti ekyuma kiri gano University of Soroti lwaki bakati ya Soroti Center ya Research yabakugu aba master ni PhD nakanti erina abakugu nabajja okukyamere kale n'olwekyo President kula abantu bano ndikusaba tibano bonka abantu ba Busoga ni Eastern Region ndikusaba nti entegeka eriwo eyokukola vocational school wano akasomero akemikono wano titugimatira tuli kusaba nti tusome tube ni diplomas tusomera wano obanga tusobole masters wano ni PhD nga tujja kubeere tusomere wano certificate tusomere wano diploma tusobole okusoma essomero ly'Namusagale Baba yali kuzimba liriyo Maritime University basobole okusomerawo essomero ly'e Busitema University liriyo basobole okusomerawo Busoga University esobola okusomesa course y'ennimpiyimpi then abakugu aba PhD bajere esoroti okono okusaba abantu bano kubasaba nkutuse yoli ensonga ey'okubiri Excellency negemagana lukubyo ku buvubi twalindi omwezi oguwire tulina ebintu byetwakukobera abantu bali kutyanga okwogera ange ekituufu kyene ensonga tidiri bulungi abantu batuma ku kyalo kino okola emirimu gyo n'okuma abantu beeriza emyalo abantu bano babuuza nti obatwatu bano batulobera okuvuba bano balikola kimu nanda ate obalikola byebatulobera byebalikola abantu abandi balina amaato agawera bakontrolinga emyalo eriyo n'ekintu kyebetako the big network abasasula sente meno osobola okujja okuvuba abo bali baikiriza so tiri kwenda olobe bakibuuse maiso ndi tukusandukire aye tena twakobera ekiri mu kyalo so Excellency ensonga eyo ndikusaba nti ojetegeze bulungi ogiringemu so tulikwenda okubaza okuyida ekyoluguudo tikyogereku oluwendo olubiseemu tulina essuubi nti oyida tukolera oluguudo olwo n'ekindi baba nenda okwebaza nti ebidi eri ebyo meeri edo ni nuclear facility eno bida kwongera kutumbula economy ya kidera imwe abana kani abadiope ferry with not ship with not and kokola abantu bada kuvangere bagula n'ebintu seminti amabati tweda kwetaka kujaidinda sente lisigala ende kidera abendo kuna bya bamwe ano bali kumadhi bagodoli sente gatisigala ano so tulina opportunity okulakulana ku kyalo kino ekyekidera ni nakani budiope nuclear facility yona eda kutuyamba abantu abalede okola muno bada kwetaga amayumba bada kwetaga ebyokozesa so opportunities ziriwo ningi tukwenda okubaza baba nti ekyo kitukoleire mu myaka gitali mitono ino eno eda kufuka commercial capital ya Eastern Region nga buli kintu kiri kujja bulungi so Excellency tusangayo n'okubona ndikwenda okweta muganda wange Excellency Vice President aida akwete oyogere eri abadiope oba inosa bwe balera
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Alitwala Rebecca Kadaga, the First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, the Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama, the Third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without portfolio, the Honorable Mile Babalanda, the Minister for Presidency, colleagues, ministers present, Excellencies, the ambassadors, the UN Resident Coordinator, the Chairperson of Uganda AIDS Commission, all the people living with HIV/AIDS, the UN family, and indeed all our development partners, all the local government leaders in your respective capacities, all invited guests, religious leaders, cultural leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Koizeyo, sangaire okubona, webale ino, nze mutesi wa Bugweri, Your Excellency, I congratulate you and all the people of Uganda on the commemoration of the World AIDS Day 2024 under the theme, Accelerating Interventions to End AIDS by 2030. Secondly, Your Excellency, I commend you for your tireless efforts in guiding the country and supporting interventions geared towards the health and the welfare or well-being of all the people of Uganda. Your concerted effort in the fight against HIV/AIDS in Uganda and in the region cannot be overemphasized. I leave the members of the audience to reflect the messages which have already been given by the leaders who have spoken with all the statistics therein. Your Excellency, as per our theme of today, which is also a reflection of one of the SDGs, i.e., accelerating intervention to end AIDS by 2030. It is my hope and desire that all our scientists and all the people of Uganda continue to extend maximum cooperation to each other in order to beat that deadline. Because, Your Excellency, the underlying conditions of the people living with HIV/AIDS still continue to make AIDS a health hazard, as experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic, and maybe in any other pandemics that may arise. So the bottom line, Your Excellency, is that AIDS should be ended. It is now my singular honor and privilege, Your Excellency, to invite you to address the nation. The floor is yours, sir.
Sit down, please. Koideyo abasoga koideyo. Muriyo. Chivumba asimibwe. Our Excellency the Vice President, somebody should translate in Rusoga. Do you have a translator somewhere?
Her Excellency the Vice President,
muzeeyi alikoba ng'ayaniriza Vice President oba amwiririra.
the Deputy Prime Ministers,
Yasangaza Right Honorable Mama Kadaga ni Right Honorable Mchala Honorable Nakadama.
all the ministers and the members of Parliament,
Ba ministers bona bona n'ababaka ba Parliament abaidyo wano.
the religious leaders,
Abakulembeze ab'amadiini bona bona.
the cultural leaders,
Abakulembeze ab'amawanga agandi.
the cultural.
Abakulembeze ab'ebika. Oba ab'ennono. Ab'ensikirano.
All the other leaders,
Abakulembeze aba buli nsambo b'ab'ebika ebindi.
and all of you, the wananchi of this area.
Nife abataka aba budyope twena atusangaziza twekubire ku mungalo banange.
The problem of AIDS is really a problem mainly of discipline.
Alikoba nti ekizibu ekyakawuka ka siriimu kiva ku mpisa detwebisaamu.
This is a disease when we analyzed, when it was threatening us, we found it was from just 3 points.
Alikoba nti obulwaire buno bw'obanga obulingirire obanga weekeenenya bulungi.
It was from 3 sources.
Buva mu ngeri y'abika bya mirundi esatu.
Bwali buva mu biseera ebyo. Mu biseera ebyo bwali buva busibuka abantu basatu. Number 1
ekisooka
was umalaya.
Bwali kukola obuseego oba okwetunda.
That was number 1.
Eyo ni number 1 engeri gye tufunamu obulwaire obwo.
Number 2
was
blood transfusion before we checked the blood of the givers.
Bwavanga musaayi ng'olwaire bakuwa omusaayi ng'awe ebyobulamu bikaali kwekeenezezebwa bulungi.
Then number 3 was from mother to child in the womb.
Namba 3 nga kiva ku maama alwaire akawuka ka siriimu ate yatoolenda ate yazaala omwana nga tamize idagala akawuka kagema omwana.
But to show that it's not really a very serious disease, if you take number 3, mother to child, even without any intervention, we found that only 30% would pass from mother to child, even if the mother had virus.
Alikoba nti namba 3 eno omukyala ni bw'aba nga atwairenda waire nga tasoboire kumira idagala. Miraculously asobola okuzaala omwana ng'azira kawuka.
The 70% were giving children who had no kawuka. It was only 30% that time.
Nti ebiseera ebyo nga idagala likaali kuyida nga ku 10 bamaama 7 asobola okuzaala omwana ng'azira kawuka. Dina 3 gasigalawo nga 3 ago omwana asobola ofuniramu akawuka.
Now, initially we were worried that it was going through mosquitoes and insect bites and so on.
Nti eira nga ebyobulamu bikaali kugondoolwa bulungi balowoozanga nti n'ensiri esobola okuleeta akawuka ka mukeenembya.
But then we found it was not possible.
Aye bajja okunoonyereza nga tikisoboka ensi tereeta siriimu.
So we closed the route of blood transfusion.
So baigalawo ekintu ekyokukoba nti okuwa omusaayi bw'owa omuntu aba afuniramu akawuka singa nga guba gwekeeneneibwa bulungi.
We got technology to determine the safety.
Baleeta ebyuma bya kabwidibwidi nga bisobola osengedde omusaayi ogwo gwabanga mulungi ino okuweebwa omuntu owundi.
So that route was closed long ago.
So buti ekyo kyayigalibwawo tekaali nsonga nti ereeta akawuka ka siriimu.
Then the one of mother to child, we also closed it because medicine became available which would stop transmission from mother to child.
Then nekyokoba nti maama agemye omwana singa nga maama yaganibwa n'akawuka ka siriimu bw'aba amize eddagala eryo akawuka tikagema mwana.
So there's only one route.
Waliwo omutendera mulala gwe tusobola ofuniramu akawuka ka siriimu.
That is the route of umalaya.
Neyo empisa ey'obuseegu ey'okwetunda oba okwegabangula oba okugula b'amalaaya.
So you people, please don't keep playing around with this problem.
Muzeeyi aliko bantu lekera okuzaanira ku kizibu ekyakawuka ka siriimu kuba kaliyo ate kakaaliwo.
Yes, the drugs are there.
Kituufa eddagala liriwo aye litatiinula.
The drugs are there to suppress the virus.
Eddagala liriwo erinigiriza akawuka ako obuta multiply eddagala liriwo erikendeeza ku okuzaala kw'akawuka ka siriimu.
But it is not eliminated.
Aye tikitoolawo kawuka ka siriimu mu mubiri gwo kaba kalimu aye baba bakayisaako engeri yekazaalamu.
But the advantage we are looking for
omukisa oguliwo oba kye tuli kunoonya
in suppressing the virus
mu kunigiriza akawuka ak'obutaalula busirikale bungi obulwaire obw'akawuka
is that when it is very much suppressed, it doesn't spread so much.
Nti bw'obanga onumiza eddagala lyo mu biseera akawuka ako kaba nkanigirizibwa tikazaala ino ate tikakuluma ino.
But you who is already infected,
iwe oyaganibwa n'akawuka,
there are certain things you can no longer do.
Waliwo ebintu ebikugaanibwa bw'obanga oyaganibwa nga oli mulwaire w'akawuka ka siriimu.
Because some of the, like in the army, we discovered that when somebody overexerts himself with the kawuka, it can cause a problem. I want Musova to answer that. Is this still a problem, that one of omuntu ali ku maddagala naye kati n'akola ebyamaanyi ennyo? How is the situation now? Because in the past it was still a problem.
Muzeeyi, it remains suppressed. Aye batukoba okukendeezaaku nti bw'obanga oyaganibwa n'akawuka ka siriimu obaku n'ebintu by'oweewala otoyikirizibwa kwegayita na muntu wundi alina akawuka akandi ak'ekika ekindi asobola okusiiga yakuwa akawuka ak'okubiri.
No, but I'm talking about if you exert yourself, like soldiers, for instance.
While it's true that people living with HIV from treatment can live a near normal life. But
no, it's okay. It's okay.
If, for instance, no problem. There is exertion, the condition of the military, you know, they are exercising, the military may not be at the same time, they may not swallow medicines, so the likelihood that they can develop full-blown AIDS is not the same as a person without HIV.
But even if they are following everything, there is no deduction to your capacity or what?
There is deduction. Yeah. Your Excellency, you are not 100% the same equivalent to a person who is without HIV.
Yes, so translate that in Nyakato.
Muzeeyi alikoba nti omuntu bw'abanga afunye akawuka ka siriimu tulina abantu babiri. Omuntu afunye akawuka ka siriimu ng'ali ku iddagala aba ku n'endawulo n'ono afunye akawuka ka siriimu nga talina iddagala. Ola alikumira iddagala mu mateeka mu biseera buli lunaku buli mwezi buli mwaka. Akawuka ke iddagala lino likalobera okuzaala obuwuka obundi. Ono n'atalikumira akawuka kalula obuwuka bungi ate yafuna n'obuwuka obundi obw'endawulo.
No, but I'm saying that even if you follow everything,
alikoba nti bw'obanga ogobereire emitendera gyonna gyonna,
if you overexert yourself,
bw'obanga weekase ino wakola ebintu ebitayikirizibwa,
si biteekerezebwa ebyamaanyi,
ebintu ebyamaanyi,
you can break down.
Osobola okwonoona omubiri gwo.
You can break down and
osobola okunafuya omubiri gwo mu mbeera yonna yonna.
So therefore, don't say that let me get the kawuka
N'olwekyo otakoba otikandye funa akawuka.
With the Madagara,
Kubanga eddagala liriwo.
I will live a normal life.
Nja kubaawo nga ndi mulamu.
No, you will live, you will not die.
Toyida kufa.
But you have deducted from your capacity.
Toyida kufa mangu ayo idda kubanga weekendezizaako emikisa egy'okubaawo.
Obusobozi bwo, your capacity.
N'obusobozi bwo obw'obulamu bwo.
So please, let's stop this indiscipline.
Muzeeyi aliko bantu lekere empisa ey'okwedalabya.
All the Ugandans, the youth,
abavubuka n'abannayuganda twena tulekere awo.
Living a risky life.
Tulekere okuba mu mpisa edetulowooza nti ned'obugundufu naddala ed'obwenzi.
You hear the statistics.
Mwana muwulira omuwendo ni marks de batukobye ed'abalwaire b'akawuka ka siriimu. Mu Uganda ni wano e Buyende.
That in the whole world there are 39 million people with the Kauka.
Nti mu Uganda munsi yonna diri emiliyoni 39 abantu abalwaire ab'akawuka ka siriimu.
People in the whole world are like 7 billion people.
Abantu abasinga munsi yonna balinga busiriiza 7. Obuwumbi
7. Now, out of the 39,
ku bantu miliyoni 39,
1.4 million are in Uganda. That's a very high figure.
Miliyoni ndala n'emitwalo 2 bali balwaire b'akawuka ka siriimu.
What percentage is that? Calculate
eyo
it for
namba
me.
neino ali kunoonya percentage atukobere.
Musoba, you calculate that. 1.4 million out of 39.
Ku bantu ku miliyoni 39 ogwo omuwendo mungi mu Uganda gweraliikiriza ino.
Why should this be the case?
Lwaki kyandibaire kityo bana abantu otuli wano twena.
So that's number 1.
Ekyo kirala.
Number 2.
Namba 2.
Now once you have the Kauka,
kasita oba n'akawuka,
test yourself
weekebeze
and start taking drugs.
Otandiikirewo okumira eddagala ery'akawuka ka siriimu.
And then do it according to the instructions.
Then limire ng'abasawo bwe bakugalagiire.
Although it's not what I prefer for you,
nti waire nga tini kyayenda tukole,
but it's better than you dying.
Kisinga kw'okulingirira obulingirire waafa.
Because if you live longer,
kubanga bw'obaawo n'owangaalaku,
you will be able to bring up your children,
osobola okupulaningira abaana bo nga bw'omira eddagala lyo,
so that they can, by the time you leave this world, they are in a better situation.
nga bw'oba ofiire babaaku niwe bali afazaali.
You can work,
osobola okwekolera emirimu gye egya buliido,
make a contribution,
waaba ng'olina by'oyongerezaaku ku kitundu wooba.
and as you heard,
nga bwe muwulire,
you are less infective if the virus is highly suppressed.
nti bw'oba nga iwe omulwaire w'akawuka oba ninze nga ndikumira eddagala, tisansaanya ino kawuka kano ku bandi okusingaku omuntu omulwaire nga talikumira, ye asansaanya kangi ku bantu abandi oba oli awo n'abalamu.
Therefore, from the national point of view, it's good.
N'olwekyo aliko bantu kirungi okwekebeza niwe yaganibwa ng'oli mulwaire twala omukisa ogwo omira eddagala kuba liriwo.
Because it will stop you from spreading the disease more aggressively.
Kidda kukendeeza ku sipiidi y'okusansaanya akawuka ka siriimu eino.
Meanwhile, this AIDS challenge is really a challenge of health in general.
Era aliko bantu kali siriimu akali kisoomoozo ky'amaanyi ino eri ebyobulamu.
This is because the Kauka of AIDS became like a muyekera.
Olw'ensonga nti akawuka ka siriimu kali oti muyekera.
Because the normal bodies of animals and people have soldiers to guard the body.
kubanga aliko banti buli omu mu mubiri gwe alina obusirikale obutangira obulwaire mu mubiri.
But the problem with AIDS virus was that it would invade the soldiers and they would not recognize the enemy.
Aye ekikula kyakana akawuka ka siriimu ikotikatya busirikale buno.
So that the soldiers wouldn't know that the barracks has been attacked.
Kabukosa era nga tikalaga nti omuyekera aide yagwa munumba yoba mu barracks yo.
That was it's not only just for AIDS, even another virus may come in future which is like that.
Aliko banti tikawuka ka siriimu ayo omuntu bw'aba omulwaire wa siriimu oba osuubira okufuna n'obuwuka obundi okusinga ku kano.
Obuwuka obw'ekiyekera.
Obuwuka obundi obusobola okozesa omukisa ogwo kubanga omubiri gw'omunafu bwakugema.
So I am very glad that our people are doing research and they seem to be moving in the vaccine against this AIDS virus, but by extension all the other such dangerous viruses.
Muzeeyi aliko banti musanufu ino olwa enonenkereza ku kawuka ka siriimu n'ebikoleibwawo naddala empiso gye bali kukoba nti ezuulibwa nga bajakubwanga abantu abalwaire ba siriimu.
They're looking for a vaccine okugema.
Vaccine eno oba empiso gye bajja okugemanga ng'ekinga akawuka ka siriimu. Aliko banti musanufu ino.
I was seeing their work there in the Kidara.
Akobye nti bw'atuuse bamulazeeko empiso edda yadibonaku.
They are doing a good job.
Aliko banti balikola omulimu mulungi ino. Banange tukube ku mungalo kubanga okola research tikyangu okufuna empiso y'akawuka ka siriimu.
And then there are even our children who are threatening to treat AIDS completely and kill the virus.
Aliko banti eri abaana baife muno mu Uganda bona abali kusuubiza nti benda okuyidanda abasiriimu oyo ng'awonera irala.
They were there, just here.
Baidyo wano era tuli nabo.
So I'm going to support them. I will fund them fully so that they.
Muzeeyi aikiriza nti ajja kubawa esente bongere okunonereza ku idagala eriwoneza irala siriimu. Iye abadyope mukube ku mungalo banange sayansi muzibu.
Furthermore,
aliko banti neera
as we are still struggling with the kawuka with the ARVs, with the Madagalagari war,
nga tukabona n'eddagala eririwo oba n'obulwaire bwa siriimu.
Our people have found the medicine which you take one pistol every 2 months.
Abanasayansi oba abakugu mu kawuka ka siriimu bazuire empiso ng'omuntu ajja kubibwanga empiso ndala buli luvannyuma lwa myezi 2 eya siriimu.
Instead of the every day empeke.
Okusinga kw'empeke ya buli lunaku eya buli wiiki eya buli mwezi eya buli mwaka.
So our people, I want to thank our scientists for really doing a good job.
Alikwebaza abanasayansi oba ba researchers abazuire empiso eyo eziiza siriimu.
Now, I will come back to talk about wealth creation.
Ajja kuyira ayogere ku bya wealth creation.
Eby'obugayiga
eby'omu maka.
When I was coming here, I was looking near the road.
Nti bw'abaire ali kuyida alinzerinze nga kumbalimbali okw'enguudo.
And I was wondering, abantu bano bakyali mu kulambaala oba?
Abaire ali kwewuunya oba tukaali mu kulambaala oba bbe.
But I was happy.
Aye amaze yasanukamu.
I saw some good cassava.
Abwine muwogo.
Muwogo. Abwine
muwogo buli mu nnimiro.
Awone nenkoba nti wakiri.
Yakoba ati wakiri kwate nga muwogo anirira ino.
At least they have food.
Aikiriza nti awo yadde tulina emmere.
But
aye
from 1996
okuva mu 1996
we told you about the 4 acres model.
Yatukoba okulima nga amaka
okukola ebyobugaga mu acres, okukola awafunda awayikaze nya n'okudda wansi.
Okukolera mu yika ndala ng'olima otaawa ebintu bya mirundi ena. Ebyobugagga bya mirundi ena.
Okukolera awafunda wayikaze nya n'okola n'ojja mu ssente nyingi wadde okoledde awafunda wayikaze nya.
Ekyamutegeire banange ndowooza.
Kiremu mu Lusoga.
Akobye nti okukolera mu eka eina fo eka modo ng'oli ku itaka lyo aye ng'osobola okolera ebintu ku ekazi edido eina waka.
Now, that time we advised you that if you happen to have 4 acres,
yakoba nti bw'oba ng'olina eka ina wakaawo,
put 1 acre under coffee if your area can grow coffee.
Taawa emwani mu eka ndala bw'oba ng'ekifo ky'obaamu kimeramu emwani.
Second, put second acre for fruits, especially mangoes, oranges, or pineapples.
Eka eyindi oteewa ebibala nga fene, emiyembe, emichungwa, mangada n'ebindi n'enanasi.
Then third acre omuddo gw'ente.
Then eka eyokusatu
pasture of dairy farming.
Eka eyokusatu oteewa isubi eryetulimira ente detukamamu amata.
Fourth acre, you put food for the home, like the cassava which you have grown.
Eka eyokuna oteewa emmere gyetulya waka nga muwogo.
Then emanju in the backyard, you do poultry farming.
Then einuma osobola okwayirayo enkoko.
You can also do piggery in the backyard.
Oba osobola okulundirayo buno bunaikula obubidi.
Then in the swamp, near the swamps, on the side of the ebibali of the swamps,
then kumbali ow'ebibali,
we do fish farming.
Okole okulunda ebyenanda.
The fish farming can give you more money than the rice you are doing now in the swamps.
Okulunda ebyenanda kusinga okutoola omutyere waata mu kibali ekyo. Ofuna esente eningi mu kulunda ebyenanda okusinga kwalimyemu omutyere mu kibali.
These 7 activities are what we recommended to you in 1996 manifesto of the NRM.
Nti bino bye yatukoba okukola mu manifesto ye yasooka mu 1996.
Now recently the Busoga MPs
nti ebiseera ebyebiwaire ababaka ab'ebusoga
led by Right Honorable Kadaga
nga bakulemberwa mu Right Honorable
and Chakulaga Bwino, who is an agricultural person.
Ni Honorable Chakulaga ow'ekigulu akulira ebyokulima oba Minister wa Agriculture.
Learning from the good example of Karangala.
Baje Karangala.
They recommended that we add ebinazi, palm oil.
Basaba nti twongereko okulima ebinazi mu Busoga.
And I said, okay, Chibumba simibwe.
Era President yayikiriza nti kale Musengu asaakibwe.
So therefore,
olwekyo
I'm coming back.
Alikuira.
I really want us to get moving. I really want us to get moving.
Ayenze tutandike okutambula.
Because those who have listened are doing very well in other parts of the country.
Ababawuliriza byabayira atambula tasomesa bakoma wale era batambulire.
If you take fish,
nti bw'otwala ekyenanda,
you are now fighting to go in the lake and fish in the lake.
Wajja alwanira mu nanda.
Now they are fighting to go to the lake to fish in the lake.
Kulwanira twena enanda.
But you can grow you can breed your own fish in yourself.
Alikoba nti mu kifo ekyo twena okulwanira enanda, omuntu sekinnoomu osobola okulunda ebyenanda byo ng'omuntu okusingako okujja mu nanda.
And the government can help you to do that.
Era alikoba nti ayida ayikirize supporting abo oba ayamba abo abanaaba bayikirize okulunda ebyenanda.
And we have already done an experiment.
Alina wakozeeku okugezesa okwo.
You find they get very good money.
era bafune sente mu bungi ate baba bulungi.
I don't know whether this is your mukoro. With my mukoro, I will show you on the video.
Ajja kutulaga ku video ku mukolo guno.
No, omukoro gwange.
Omukolo ogugwe aida tulaga ku lulala video.
When I come back.
Bwana abayize wano ku nsonga eyo.
So, we must chase poverty from here.
Tulina okugoba obwavu okuva wano ebidyope.
Now, these areas of Uganda are very rich.
Ekifo kino eky'ebidyope kigayiga ino.
Ebifo bino bya Uganda
ebifo bya Uganda bigayiga ino.
Ebyobuvanjuba.
Ebyobuvanjuba bigayiga ino.
Because God created them very well.
Kubanga Katonda yabiwunda bulungi.
You find which is not a high hill, which is not a hill, just raised ground, which is dry land.
Oyagana obukalu tulinabwo, wayagana wandi obusozi ayenga walungi wakalu bulungi.
Now on this side you find a wetland, and on this side you find a wetland.
Olundi kumbali wayaganayo ekibali nawandi wayaganawo ebibali.
When I went to Namutumba,
bwe yaje Namutumba,
there was a place where I went. I traveled for 5 kilometers on dry land.
Alina ekifo kye yatambula mu nga kilometers 5 ku bukalu.
Into a wetland.
Then yatambula kuno okujja mu kibali.
Which was like 200 meters.
Waliwo nga meters 2.
Then I went to another dry land.
Yaja wandi nga waliwo kwa akasozi.
For another like 5 kilometers.
Nga kilometers.
Into a wetland.
Then yaja kuni mu kibali ekindi. Mukabali.
Chibumba really was caring about Uganda.
Katonda yawunda Uganda.
Was caring a lot.
Era yafaayo ino nga awunda Uganda.
Yes. It's so rich.
Nga igaino.
Eitaka wano, amadi wano.
Eitaka kumbali, wano madi kumbali.
Just nearby.
Kumpi awo.
Now, the problem is that you are now misusing and underutilizing the land we have here.
Obuzibu obuliwo nti awandi tuli kukozesa bubi ebintu bino awandi tutuli kubikozesa.
Tukozesa katono.
Tulikozesa katono, underutilizing. Tulikozesa katono ate awandi twakozesa bubi.
How?
Nti mu ngeri ki?
The dry land,
eitaka ikalu,
people are growing crops.
Abantu bali kulima ku emmere.
Like the cassava I have talked about.
Nga muwogo gwali kwogerako.
But there is no irrigation.
Aye wazirawo kyetweta irrigation mu Lusoga twena tukyeta tutyo. Oba kufikirira.
There is no irrigation.
Wazira kufikirira.
Yet in 1967.
Atenga mu 1967.
When I was going to university in Dar es Salaam.
Bwe yali aja akali ku University Dar es Salaam Tanzania.
I used to pass by Madivani.
Yabitanga wale wa Madivani.
And he had already started